Ciao.
Breaking news at just past the half hour. Some new progress on the desperate efforts to free that cargo ship stuck in the Suez Canal. It's got to
rock you like a hurricane.
Okay. So as we start, speaking of rocking and yes, rolling and weather and what have you, as we begin, it was mere moments ago that they floated the Ever Given.
Floated the what?
The Ever Given. The ship that's been blocking the Suez Canal for 6 days is now
they
free.
They unstuck it?
Yeah, they unstuck it just like a few minutes ago, right before you and I started recording. Yeah, I guess. Sure. I mean, yes. I mean, I don't mean I guess, like I was looking forward to it being stuck there forever. I mean, it's like, yeah, good. Okay. So now we can go ahead and start talking about something else again.
Well, I mean, okay. Like, seriously, you seriously want it stuck? You want the economy, the world's economy to...
No, of course not.
There are all kinds of changes I would like to make to the world's economy, including consumerism, consumerism that I myself indulge in.
Yeah.
But that's not the way to do it.
Okay. Well, no, I completely agree with you. Yes, I'm glad it's going. Here's what I can't believe, and I understand ships have gotten bigger since the Suez Canal was dug, since that whole thing was done. But I can't believe, and I've now started to worry about the Panama Canal as well. I can't believe that we, found a way through, and we thought, well, that'll be fine. I mean, I'm not saying. I mean, here's the thing. I'm like, if there was another ship, and I know that there's some planning that goes into this, obviously. But let's say there had been another one just as big, and I know there aren't many container ships as big as the Ever Given. But if there had been another one the exact same size going the other direction, we could have been a lot worse. I know that will never happen theoretically. Well, right. Surely that's coordinated. And surely the Suez Canal is big enough that no ship would ever get stuck in it either. I understand what you're saying. I mean, you're absolutely right. I'm just saying it's time for another one.
I couldn't figure out why couldn't they just put two tugboats on opposite ends and then just push?
Yeah, some people talked about that on Twitter. And
I'm sure that there's a reason why they didn't just do that.
Yeah, you'd think
I'm sure
so.
It's not because they didn't go, oh, yeah, I wish we thought of that.
Yeah, I was going to say, hopefully that's not how they did it. Yeah, right. Well, wait a minute. Did you try turning the wheel the other way?
Exactly. Exactly. I realize that the mystification here is my ignorance. Well, and not because I secretly figured out how to do it and they didn't.
No, it's all of our ignorance. I mean, there's no way this should have happened, except, of course, it did. So you're not liking my second Suez Canal idea, huh? Like one that goes one way, one that goes the other way, nary the twain shall meet.
Oh, that seems like a great idea, actually. Same thing with the Panama Canal.
Yeah. I'm not saying it would be easy, but it wasn't easy the first time. And we're actually much further along in this kind of technology now than we were then.
But you know what's better?
Dirigibles.
Yes, I was gonna say.
Seriously?
Yes.
Oh wow, far out. So is that news to you this week? Bryan Chaffin, by the way, I forgot to even say that part because we just immediately went into the trouble in the Suez, as the song goes. Bryan Chaffin, he is of course the editor-in-chief of the Mac Observer. And glad to have him along this week. Monday, of course, we turn it over to, I mean, we can just go news of the day if you want to. We can talk about, because I don't understand all of the ripples, and I get it, but I don't get it. Because only 12% of the world's trade goes through the Suez Canal.
Are we still on this? Well,
no, that's what I'm saying. We can do this or we can do the other thing if you want to. You want to do what you wanted to do? It's fine with me. I'm fine either way.
No. This is a fun topic.
Well, and it's a fun topic about which I'm ignorant. No, the other topic's not fun. Here's the thing.
Yeah, it's kind of fun though.
You think so?
It's kind of it's fun in that I think it's an important topic. So yeah, let's move on to the other one.
I agree it's an important topic, but here's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand. Never mind. It's fine. Yeah, let's talk about the other thing. 12%. And I understand 12% is a lot. And certainly when 12% goes through and suddenly it can't go through, you're suddenly building up more and more. And I know it's not just 12% at that point.
And there's the ripple effects.
You see, that's the part that I'm having trouble getting my head around. And it doesn't matter anymore because now it's just going to be catching up. So it's okay. And I understand it's going to take a while for those ripples to, subside. But I mean, we could have been looking at a month of this, and then it would have been amazingly difficult. Whereas right now it's going to be, in a few weeks, it's going to be, oh, I can't get that. And then, it's going to go back to, oh, man, that seems a little high.
Right.
And then eventually it'll go back to, we're back to
Consumerism,
$50 TVs.
Right.
Exactly. $50, 60 inches. That's like what, 80 cents per inch of your television or something?
Have you actually seen a TV that cheap?
No, of course not.
China.
Well, that would be,
Apple.
yes, that's how that would happen. That's how that would happen.
Should Apple be in China?
Should Apple be in China?
Yeah.
It's kind of a silly question, isn't it? Because Apple is in China.
Apple is in China. Should Apple still be in China then? Fine. Be Mr. Pedantic.
Well, no, there's an interesting, so this is, so your news of the week, go ahead. It's news to Brian, because that's what we do on Monday. We turn the show
Apple
over.
Continuing to kowtow to China.
Okay. See, okay. Are you going to give background on this, or do you want me to really quickly?
Feel free.
All right. So we actually talked about it on Monday's macOS Ken. There were 3 stories that I did. First of all, and I know I'm pronouncing it wrong, although I looked it up and I tried to. Xinjiang. The Xinjiang province is where the ethnic Uyghurs live in China, or the ones that have been allowed to continue living, because China has, of course, trying to break the back of the Uyghur identity and the Uyghur people, has put some of them in work camps, has spread them out across the country. There's talk of having forced sterilized 1 to 2 million Uyghur people, and you occasionally have a little bit of pushback. And what's horrible is, I mean, I'm not kidding, you occasionally have a little bit of pushback. So the Information ran a story over the weekend, I believe, maybe it was Friday, saying that the paramilitary organization that is responsible for the Xinjiang province it has like 12 apps, I think it is, on the App Store. And the problem is they're like, that's verboten, according to the U.S. Treasury. That organization should not be allowed to have apps on the App Store. But of course, they're not, running as the paramilitary organization. The information says, the company that's actually behind those apps is this paramilitary organization. Apple says they've looked into it, and they can't say anything that's illegal or anything that violates U.S. law there. At the same time, H&M has said, you know what, we don't want to source cotton from the Xinjiang province anymore because you're using forced labor. You're using the Uyghurs to get that, and we don't want it. And so with 400 stores in China, China has said to Baidu and to Apple and to Didi Chuxing and, any other ride-hailing apps and any other mapping apps and everything, yeah, just go ahead and take H&M off there.
Yeah, and Apple did.
And so if you're in China right now, and you go to Apple Maps and look for H&M, it doesn't exist, even though you might be standing across the street from it.
Right. And Apple did it.
Yeah.
Apple agreed to do this.
Well,
and
okay.
Apple agrees to every single bit of authoritarian nonsense that is completely antithetical to the supposed values that Apple says it stands for as a corporation, for whatever that's worth.
Right.
And they do it.
Right. Well, because it's the law. There's a thing that we talked about here. I can't remember if we talked about it here or if we talked about it on macOS Can Live back when that was still a thing a few weeks ago. But Bruce Sewell sat in front of Congress and said to Trey Gowdy, look, we do what the law demands. If you want to make different laws, we'll do that. And Trey Gowdy shot back to him, you want us to make the rules here? Because you're not going to like what we come up with. Fact of the matter is...
Well, Tim Cook also said that exact same thing to John McCain in a Senate hearing on taxes. We follow the law. If you want us to do different things, change the law.
Right. Right. So, I mean, my point being, Apple is doing business in China. The Chinese government comes and says, you have to do this. They have to find a translator so that they can say exactly right how high.
Correct.
Right? Okay. So your question is,
how do we enter this discussion?
Should Apple be doing business in China?
Correct.
Okay.
And the answer is no.
Okay.
It is time for Apple to pull out of China. It is time for Apple to start making its stuff elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And it is time for Apple to stop selling merchandise if that's what they have to do.
Okay.
And to shut down its services if that's what they have to do. Tim Cook has said repeatedly that it is better to be there and be engaged in order to have an effect, to have influence, than to not be there. He has said that repeatedly.
Yes.
And my question is, at what point do you become part of the problem?
Yes.
And I would say shutting down the apps that pro-democracy protesters were using in Hong Kong was becoming part of the problem. I would say that pulling H&M off of the
Apple Maps.
Apple Maps, thank you, is being part of the problem. I would say that pulling apps off because they mentioned Tiananmen Square, you are the problem when you are agreeing to do things like that. And at what point does Apple pull out of China? And I know that, listen, I'm a shareholder for Apple. I have a small stake in Apple, and as a shareholder, pull out of China.
I honestly feel like for me, we got to that today when they erased 400 H&M locations from Maps. I couldn't remember. I was trying to remember who it was. The former Soviet leader who then fell out of favor with the party, and then they just literally erased him from pictures. And that's a problem. I can't remember the guy's name now, and of course you can't go look up. I thought it was Ceausescu, but I'm not sure.
I left the band. The band leader literally photoshopped me out of some photographs.
Yeah. Do you know how much people heard about me on Inside Mac after I left to start Mac OS Ken? But here's the thing. I mean, that's all just petty people being petty people. Apple has taken what has become the world's atlas and erased a thing that exists.
Yes.
And I think at that point, look, I don't expect Apple to stand up to China at that point. I don't expect Apple to say, no, this is here, and so we're going to do this. I expect Apple to say, right, we're shutting down for a month.
Yeah, we're out of here.
Yeah, well, not necessarily we're out of here, but we're out of here for the time being. I tell you what, we're going to wind this thing down for a bit, and hopefully we can come back to a place, because they are the world's most valuable company. And as you say, I mean, at what point do you start using that? I mean, is being the world's most valuable company only about accruing more value, or do you at some point say, right, we've got a significant number of marbles. Maybe we should go ahead and start playing with them instead of hoarding them until there's really just, nobody else with any marbles with which to play.
And the thing is that there are a lot of people who would disagree with that. There are a lot of people who don't care as long as Apple's making money. They want Apple to continue to make money. And Apple, in fact, if they were to pull out of China, they would be sued from here to kingdom come
by shareholders.
By shareholders saying that Apple had breached their fiduciary responsibility. Right.
Yeah, that's true.
And quite frankly, those shareholders would probably win. So what is Apple to do? I don't know. But kowtowing is not it.
Yeah, I don't think they should actually stop selling in China. I do think, though, that they should. And certainly they are diversifying their supply chain. I mean, not quickly enough, although probably faster than anybody thought they were going to be able to do. But they're not doing quickly enough to affect real change in China right now. Plus, I don't know that they're actually trying to get all of their manufacturing out of China. I think they're just trying to, sort of spread it around.
Oh, I don't think they are trying to. I think that they should, because I do not think that they should ever be. There are two aspects here. There's Apple making stuff in China, and there are people who have argued that those jobs mean a lot to China.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
I don't know that I agree with that. I think the way
China would clip those fingernails and brush them off into the trash can as fast as they needed to if it was to make their, this
there's a way to find out.
Very bad person who was in charge of that country and his megalomaniac goals.
There's a way to find out. The way to find out is for Apple to say, right, we're going to cool it off for a month and see what happens. The only problem is once they do that, they don't make anything anymore because so much of their manufacturing still happens in China.
Correct. And that includes manufacturing. It's not just assembly. It's manufacturing in the supply chain too.
Right. Yeah.
It is a mess.
Yes.
But as a shareholder, I would like Apple to stop being a tool of oppression. And right now, I feel like that they are becoming ever more a tool of oppression. And I get that they have to follow the law, where the local law wherever they are. I get that. But there's a point where following the law compromises you too much. And I think that Apple crossed that line with China a long time ago.